want to talk about how oftentimes diet and exercise are not enough to lose weight. And if you are struggling to lose weight, you might have to look further than just diet and exercise. Of course, diet and exercise are important, but they're not the only things to look at. And if you have good nutrition and you have an active lifestyle and you're not losing weight, we need to look deeper. It used to be enough just to say, oh, eat healthy, move, and you'll be good. Not in this day and age. There are many underlying factors that can be completely hijacking your body's ability to burn fat and lose weight that don't even have anything to do with diet and exercise. So if you are struggling and you're frustrated, let me here to tell you, the answer is not just work out more and eat less. Definitely not. I want to talk about the underlying reasons why, even a lot of times when women have a good diet and exercise, they can't lose weight. So let's go through it. Because ultimately, think about it. If your body's not able to lose weight, it's indicative of a deeper problem, right? If you're eating healthy and you're active and you're not losing weight and you want to, it's telling me that something else is going on in your body that's causing resistance or like a barrier to you losing weight. Because when you're healthy, having a healthy weight, it's kind of like a side effect, right? Weight loss is almost like a side effect, like a collateral effect of you being healthy and doing the right things and your body being happy, right? Just like having a healthy cycle, feeling balanced, having a healthy weight, that comes easily when everything's in balance and healthy. So if you are just struggling and you've dieted and you've tried exercise and it's just not working, that tells me there's something else going on, and we have to identify what that is. Now, as a practitioner who specializes in women's health, I see this all the time. And so this is what I tell my clients. Let's investigate these underlying barriers. Let me tell you some of what they are, because I want you to know. Because so often I see women out there just mad at themselves, punishing themselves, feeling awful because they can't lose the weight, and it's more than just diet and exercise. So what are those things? What are the barriers? Well, let me give you some ideas here. So a huge one is blood sugar. Because insulin, so when your blood sugar is high, if you have high blood sugar, your insulin goes up, right? Well, insulin is a fat storage hormone. So if you have, and I'm not even saying full-blown diabetes, I'm just saying insulin resistance or blood sugar imbalances, it's going to be really hard for you to lose weight if your insulin levels are high. Now that's something you can get tested. Measure your hemoglobin A1C. Get your fasting insulin levels measured so you know where's your insulin. If your insulin is high, it's really hard to lose weight. And this is a very common thing, and people don't always even know that this is a problem. Another one is bile flow, one we don't often think about, right? But I see this a lot in women who've had their gallbladder removed. So bile is made in the liver, stored in the gallbladder. Why is bile so important? Well, you need bile to properly metabolize fat. And if you don't have a gallbladder, or if you have an overburdened liver, because of all the toxins and, pollution, and maybe you're taking multiple medications, it's just overburdened, your body's not going to be able to make and release bile appropriately. And when you don't release bile appropriately, you have trouble metabolizing fat. So I see so many women who have had their gallbladder removed because it's a very common surgery and doctors are pretty quick to pull it out of there instead of helping you heal it naturally. And then they have trouble digesting and metabolizing fats. That can be fixed as well. I mean, yes, there's a consequence to having your gallbladder removed, but there's things you can supplement with, like bile salts, that you should supplement with whenever you eat fats to make sure that you're properly metabolizing and digesting them. Toxins. This is another big one. So we're talking about liver, right? If you have a high toxic load, it's going to be really hard for your body to lose weight. And that's a lot of us, right? I mean, in this day and age, just like I was saying, we're exposed to so many toxins and pollution and pesticides, and a lot of that stuff gets stored in our fat. And the body doesn't want to let go of the fat because it will have to deal with the toxins. It's kind of like when you get exposed to those things, the body pushes the toxins into fat. Kind of like, say you're cleaning your house and you don't really want to clean the room for good. So you just kind of push everything in the closet and you're like, there we go, it's organized, it's in the closet, but the mess is in the closet. That's what your body does with toxins and fat cells. It just pushes them all into the fat cells to keep them away from your vital organs, which is a good survival strategy, but it doesn't help you, right? Because then your body doesn't want to lose weight until you deal with the toxins in a safe manner, right? So toxins are a big deal. Hormones. You guys knew I was going to say it, right? Of course I was going to say hormones, but it's true. If your hormones are out of whack, it can be really hard to lose weight. And this ties in with cortisol. If you have high levels of cortisol or your cortisol is dysregulated, guess what? Cortisol, high levels of cortisol tells your body to store fat in the belly. So if you have belly fat that you're really, really having trouble getting rid of, it's usually one of two things. Your cortisol is out of whack and or your estrogen. High levels of estrogen, so women who have estrogen dominance, too much estrogen with not enough progesterone, and or high levels of cortisol, that's gonna tell your body to store fat in the belly. So you need to make sure your hormones are in balance, because if they're out of balance, it is really hard to lose weight. And if your cortisol is out of whack, whether it's too high or it's been high for a long time, so high that it starts to get depleted, where you kind of move into this exhaustive phase where no amount of sleep is enough and you're just really tired and you kind of never feel refreshed. It's like not having any gas in your tank, right? If your cortisol is out of whack, it's going to be really hard to lose weight. And this is such a common one, right? Because how many of us have dysregulated cortisol from stressful lives or not having enough time to rest or downtime or, not feeling safe? Our bodies are always just, we're on the go, 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 go. And, it's easy to kind of get used to that, but that's not necessarily the best thing for your body, right? Now, I'm not saying you have to eliminate all the stress from your life, but you need things to help your body become more resilient to stress. You can absolutely heal your adrenals that are in charge of making cortisol, heal your cortisol, balance your hormones. This is going to be really important for better health and also for weight loss. Also, eating too little and working out too much, so under eating and overtraining, that's another big one. You can't starve yourself to better health. That doesn't work, right? And here's the thing I want to say, ladies, if you're struggling with weight loss, I know it's hard because we all want the quick win, right? We all want the quick win. I completely get it. But how many years have you spent living in the situation that you're living? You've kind of lived into it. You have to live your way out of it. If you want long-term results, you're playing the long game. If you want those real solutions, you're playing the long game. That's the thing, because think about it. You're not just affecting weight loss. You're improving your health. You're fixing other underlying problems, right? Of which weight loss is a side effect of those problems. Ultimately, the weight isn't the actual problem itself, right? It's what's causing you to not be able to lose it. And I know that's frustrating to hear, but let me tell you, short of you doing a crash diet, starving yourself, putting your body in survival mode, maybe, losing some weight short term, but then gaining it all right back and then some, right? How many times have we done that or seen people do that, right? Let's not do that anymore. This is the time to actually heal the root causes, because you know why? Then you heal it for good. And then you don't struggle with the weight anymore. And not only do you not struggle with the weight, you don't struggle with the other health problems anymore. So this is the time. So if you're struggling and you're frustrated, I highly encourage you. You can work with me or work with another functional holistic practitioner. I have a whole program that helps you identify and remove those barriers that I was talking about, those barriers to weight loss. My program is called Metabolic Makeover. I go through each and every one of those and more of exactly what to do, how can you identify those, and then what do you do about them to fix them, in addition to just diet and exercise. Because you need to know, this is stuff you need to know to be healthy. And if weight loss just has not happened for you and you're just beating yourself up, don't. We need to investigate these things, because if it's not happening, there's a reason why. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you need help with this, I've got you. This is what I do. It is a long game, but wouldn't you rather commit to 3 months, 6 months, 9 months of actually healing your body so that you can keep those long-term results easily, because once you heal that and you get there, it is so easy to maintain. And 6 months from now, a year from now, aren't you going to be so glad that you did? Let me know if you need my help.